As we paint like Katsai Harosaki, the first thing that we need to do is to lay out the painting, which is really simple. All we're going to do is draw a horizon line from edge to edge of our painting. This one line across the painting helps me separate what's sky from what's water. Then I'm going to be using my easel brush and my big liquid paints today, but you could definitely do this technique with about any supply you want, use these same colors and get a similar effect. I just like the easel brush for this one. An easel brush is a really large brush. It's a really wide, flat brush, and this flat brush is important because we're going to use both the corners today to do some double dipping in our brush. So with my brush, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the center of my paper with the sunshine. So I'm just going to dip my brush into the yellow. When I do that, you can see there's just this itty bitty fine line of yellow paint on my brush. There's not a lot. It's not drippy. That little fine line is plenty of paint for what I need because all I'm going to do is paint myself a yellow sun. Then I'm going to come back to my paint and I'm going to dip one side of my paint into my yellow. So I get a yellow triangle on one side of my brush. I'm going to dip the other side of my paint into my orange, so I've got orange on the opposite side. Mixing both colors on my brush like this is going to help me get these two colors to paint together and get some striations, or this lovely effect where I get some lines of lighter yellow into my orange, which I kind of like. So I'm going to just kind of clean up the sun there a little bit, get a layer of orange. Then I'm going to dip in my orange straight, and I'm going to paint another layer of orange. And this orange is going to be a little bit darker than the last orange that I painted because it doesn't have any yellow mixed in with it. It's perfectly fine if you end up with paint below that horizon line. And then I'm going to do that double dip technique again. So I'm going to dip one side into my orange, get an orange triangle on one side, dip the other side into either red or pink. I did red, but let's go pink first. So with my pink, since I have both, I'm going to go pinks and then reds. If you don't have both colors, that's totally fine. You could go directly from orange to red, and that wouldn't be a big deal at all. The pink just helps soften this transition just a little bit. So I'm going to do my pinks, and then I'm going to do a layer of straight pink out here. Notice I'm not cleaning my brush ever. I don't mind these kind of messy, dirty colors mixing from one to another, especially as I'm painting a sunset, because in a real sunset, we would get some color variations. So I'm doing that pink red combo right now, getting that layer of pinkish red out there on the edges, making sure I paint all the way to the edges. I have spare paper underneath so my desk doesn't get dirty. When you do this at home, work over a tablecloth or over a spare piece of paper so you can paint all the way to the edges of your paper. That's going to really help your paper look better in the long run if you paint all the way out. And now I've got my beautiful layer of sunset sky. In the next video, we're going to create some waves.